Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have big news as Princess has changed their celebration cruise. Yeah, celebrating 60 years has been moved. How do you move your celebration anniversary cruise from the date that it was on your anniversary? I don't know, but that's what they're doing. Region 7 Seas is also going to become very shortly the youngest fleet in the sea, I'd say, as far as like established cruise lines are concerned, as their ships are about to be readjusted and have some very new ships in their fleet. Also, we have a passenger complaining about Carnival, saying, hey, they were absolutely no help whatsoever when they missed their ship, and hey, why aren't they paying to get them back on the cruise ship? And we have another passenger who almost had that experience over in Asia, and they're going to describe how they made one mistake that almost made them stuck in Asia, unable to get back to the ship. So it was announced that Princess Cruise Line is going to do their 60th anniversary cruise, and it's going to be a 14-day cruise on the Royal Princess, the original royal ship in their fleet, their royal class. And it was going to feature Jill Whelan, who is Vicky from the original Love Boat, who's also a spokesperson for Princess Cruise Line. It was also going to feature the band The Temptations were going to be on board to sing, and other special activities. Well, yeah, if you're booked on that cruise, it's no longer the celebration cruise. It's plain and simple. Is it going to be delayed a week? Is it going to be... No, it's delayed 3 months till March. It's now been changed to March of the next year. So, yeah, it's no longer that cruise. Now, you are able, if that was the purpose of taking the cruise, they have offered you a full refund, and they will help you and assist you in booking the new cruise. However, the new cruise isn't 14 days anymore, it's 7 days. It's also 3 months difference, and not a lot of people may be able to switch their vacations, and so it's a little disappointing news. It's kind of weird that there's no explanation as to why they're changing the sailings. No explanation if Jill Whelan will still be on board, if the Temptations will still be on board, or what the entertainment or celebration is going to be like now. It's just out of the blue. No longer going to be on the December cruise. It's now going to be in March. So they will help you switch it over if that's what you wish to do. And hopefully they don't change it again in the future. Region 7 Seas is undergoing a lot, including getting rid of one of their ships, the Navigator of the Seas, next year, bringing on the Prestige, the new ship next year, which by the time it comes into fruition, the oldest ship in the fleet will only be 11 years old, with many of the ships being much, much newer than that. So they're looking to really revamp their image and their fleet, and making it one of the newest as far as ships are concerned, fleet in the business, especially the luxury market. So good on them. I enjoy when things like that happen. Next, let's talk about a passenger. Yeah, one of those. They were in Costa Maya, and they missed the ship. They rented a Jeep, and the Jeep clock was, of course, set to local time. And that's not the same as the ship time. So they went off sightseeing and touring around on their own, and they got back about 15 minutes after the gangway had already been removed, and then they had to sit there for another 17 or so minutes while the ship continued removing its mooring lines and set sail without them. And they were very upset about this, as people were jeering them and that, and you know, really upset about that. And okay, I can understand being upset at people jeering you, but they were wondering why the ship didn't stop and just put the gangplank down. Well, once those mooring lines start being removed, they can't just stop the process. they have to continue the process. You can't, oh, okay, now we got 4 mooring lines removed. Okay, just reset it and everything, guys. No, they have to continue, remove them all, and then they would have to reset them all again for the safety of the ship. So no, once they start removing the mooring lines, they can't just stop dead at what they're doing and reverse the situation. That's not normally what they do, and they can get into a lot of trouble for doing that. So that's why they didn't stop. Next, they said the biggest slap in the face was that we had to pay for our own hotel and then the taxi and ferry charges to join the ship the next day in Cozumel. There was no help financially from Carnival. Why? Well, it wasn't Carnival's fault. That's why. Well, hey, for that matter, why didn't the Mexican government pay for your trip then? Why didn't the Mexican government pay for your ferry and your hotel and comp you? Why didn't the hotel comp you to stay? I mean, it wasn't their fault that you missed the ship and you're stuck there. They should have comped you the free hotel room, right? Because why? Why should you pay for your mistake, right? Why should people pay for their own mistake? Yeah, the people in the comments were not too kind, saying that it's very easy to just make sure you're back on time. Make sure your clock is at the right time. Pay attention to what you're doing, and know if you make a mistake, it's your fault, and all the finances come from you. Just be glad that you were able to take a ferry and a taxi to get back to the cruise ship, and it wasn't the last stop in Mexico and you would have had to fly home and go through border security and everything and pay for flight expenses to get back to your ship. Should Carnival pay? Should Carnival pay for people who missed? No. Imagine that. Imagine how many people would purposely miss the ship so they could purposely spend a night in a hotel and spend an extra day on shore and then get back on the ship the next day if it's a close enough distance, right? They would just do it on purpose and just say, oh, I missed the ship. And Carnival would pay for it? No, not gonna happen, not gonna happen. Next, we also have an influencer who is on TikTok explaining that she was on the Anthem of the Seas in Vietnam, and they went to Ho Chi Minh City. Now, to get from the cruise destination to Ho Chi Minh City is about an hour and a half, where they hired a car, drove to Ho Chi Minh City and did an event, you know, some stuff there and an excursion and that, and everything was going fine. And then they decided, you know what, we're going to do some extra shopping. And so they started to do some extra shopping because they said, well, it only took us an hour and 15 minutes to get there, so we should be fine getting back to the ship. And then when they were getting ready to go back to the ship, they checked the traffic, and lo and behold, there was an accident. And there were backups in the traffic lanes. And eventually they did find a way around the traffic using their phone and the apps, and helped the driver out to get around traffic to get them, where they made it back to the cruise ship just in time. But she says, oh man, the extra shopping was definitely not worth the stress they went through about possibly missing the ship. And by the way, that ship wasn't just staying in Asia, it was the last sailing before it heads back to the US. So you would have had a long flight home and a big expense of missing the ship. So there's a couple words of warning. Make sure that you're getting back to the ship on time. Make sure that you know what the ship time is. And make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get back to the ship, because anything can happen. You can have a flat tire. You can run into traffic jams. There's a number of things that can happen. And you don't want to be stuck in Vietnam on the last sailing and have to fly home and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get you home. And no, the cruise lines shouldn't be paying for it. What do you think? Do you think cruise lines should be paying for people who legitimately admit, hey, it was our fault, we missed the ship, But hey, we still want them to pay for it for us. I don't think I'm going to see too many comments below that say, yeah, you know what? The cruise lines should pay for their mistakes. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.